Hey, welcome back. I'm Brian Coleman from Imartbound, and as I said in my last video, I was going to show you some of the work and some of the things I'm involved to. So I have kind of a mini gallery showing tonight of some pieces that I did that are of the things I have talked about in the last video. So this first piece here, again. This piece here is called Doop Be Diddy Dada. Hear the song in the background? Doop Be Diddy Dada, Doop Be Diddy Dada. And it was inspired by jazz guitarist Grant Green. And I did this piece actually in the studio at the Cultural Arts Center. Let me get out of the way so you can see it. And you can't really tell, but it also has dimensional pieces attached to it. But he suggested go with a more gestural look to it. And I kind of like it too. It kind of goes with a more lively feeling of the man on the stool playing the guitar. If you could see closer, I also used mixed media. You can't really tell from here, but this guitar is made out of a piece of foam core board. And so the hand here and part of the hand and arm here made out of foam core board that I used to get some dimensional. So when you came up to it, you could actually see some of the dimension on it in kind of a smoky background as this jazz guitarist plays these tunes. So this piece has got a kind of funny name. It's called Doop Be Diddy Dada, just like the song here, Doop Be Diddy Dada. So this is one of my pieces too. I've done a couple of pieces in the past that are with musicians, but not as many. Since we're going down that road, I might as well show you this other one. This this was called Rock. This piece is called Rock that I did. It's very kind of cartoonish look, but if you can see, and I don't know if I can get you up close, the flag itself has plaster galls, so this is all going undulating in and out behind this rock guitarist. This flag is undulating, and what I did was I used pieces of toilet paper rolls that I glued to canvas, and then put the plaster gauze over and then painted over the whole thing, over this whole flag, so that if you can see it, it has an undulating look to it, where the pieces actually look like they're going in and out. There's movement to it. Like I said, I like to have movement to my work. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure that we're supposed to be. So this piece is called Rock, with the rock guitars, and again, this piece was made out of oil paint, toilet paper rolls, plaster gauze, which is like gauze, but it's like you can make it becomes paper mache, that I then put over the top of all of this, and then I began to paint over it. And then this figure, which is made out of foam core, was then added later on the top of this and applied with E6000 glue, which is the glue I used to do that. So this piece is called Rock. So those are the only two musical pieces I'll be showing you at this time. But okay, so this next piece I have is called Cherry Blossom. Now we're getting to more into what I had talked about earlier. Again, let me check to make sure we are in the camera. Yes, let me move it a little bit. This piece is called Cherry Blossom, and it was inspired by the cherry blossoms. I tried to go with a really oriental theme. Again, you can see the figure of the woman is kind of in a fantasy type background. She's kind of like a geisha dancer, but she's also part of nature. As her hair comes up here, it's like part of a cherry blossom tree. And then I added I cut out all these little individual pieces of paper that you could do like watercolor on Strathmore paper or drawing paper on, and then paint it over. Now this is acrylic. This is not oil. This is acrylic. This is when I did an acrylic. And then the structure was made out of foam, cardboard. This here is cracked foam that wraps around to make part of a geisha dress. And then these little lines, if you can see it, were made out of slick paint. I took actual slick paint and put it over the top of it, and when it dried, I painted them black, and it has more of a cherry blossom theme. The clouds above here represent kind of an oriental type theme. And then she's made out of sculpting. Sculpting is a poly rosin material that you can bake in the oven. There's sculpting. Anyone's an artist out there is familiar with sculpting. Also, we call it Fimo. and other different brand names that and you just can make something out of it and bake it in the oven about 275 degrees depending on the thickness and depending on how long you put on it. The instructions are on there, non-toxic. But yeah, so this one, and then the board is a piece of leftover drywall from the school I worked at. It was being thrown out, so I took it home and cut it down and turned it into a piece of art for the background for this structure. And like I said, the hands and the face and some of the hair are made out of sculpting, and some of the branch here is made out of wire with, again, plastic oil vector that I did camouflage on the top. So this piece is called Cherry Blossom. Inspired, it was an Asian theme. It was inspired by that and by the geisha. Okay, so I have just a few more pieces here to show you. This one here is called The Acceptance of Transformation. One second. I know I'm going back behind the camera a little bit more, but I just want to make sure everything. The Acceptance of Transformation. And this again is made out of, now this is also on canvas board, and it is made with plaster modeling paste, which is a thick stuff that you can, it's kind of, how can I describe it? Almost like, looks like plaster almost. But it's modeling paste, which I then textured the background of it with. Then I had pieces here that are, again, made out, I use a lot of foam core in my pieces. And the butterflies are made out of little pieces of sculpting, as well as, again, more paper that is similar to the paper I use for Cherry Blossom, painted on it. What does the piece mean? The acceptance of transformation. When we finally realize of who we are and we're coming into our own, and we finally do not no longer wrestle with who we are, what we are, but we accept it and we transform into something what we truly were meant to be. So I use the butterfly theme as a when you think of metamorphosis or something changing from one thing into the other. So this is what I use for this piece here, and I call it the acceptance of transformation. It goes from just the white and slowly turns gradation more into the brighter colors as you go forth through here. There's a figure of a woman here, again constructed out of, like I said, foam core board. Modeling paste has been applied over the top, and this also is acrylic paint too on this painting here. So this piece is called Acceptance of Transformation. Acceptance of Transformation. Okay, we have, and this piece here, I'm going to see if I can get this in here. I may have to just hold it up in front of me. This piece I have next is called Mariposa, meaning butterfly. It is along the same theme almost of what you saw here. And this piece I'm about to show you actually won a People's Choice Award here in Columbus, Ohio, in the Student Art Show last summer. There was a student art show, and it won, along with another guy. Two of us won People's Choice Award, and so this one won this. So I'm going to see if I can maybe stand it up and show it to you on here. Oh, let's see what happens. Let's see if it's all in the frame. Like I said, excuse me for going back behind the camera. I just want to make sure you can really see these pieces. Please stay up there. Let me see what we have here. Yes, this piece is called Mariposa. It's funny because I got the name from a gym teacher who works at our school with our special needs kids, and they were on the ground doing stretches, and she said, "Let's do the butterfly stretch." She said, "Let's do our Mariposas." And me and my co-worker said, I let her see this painting, and she see it and said, "That's the name for it. You call it Mariposa." But again, before I was going to call it the Butterfly Woman. And this piece here again represents transformation and blooming into who all you can be. So what this is this face of a woman, foam core, the lips, cheekbones, and the eyes are all made with that material called sculpting, which I then applied on top of the foam core. The foam core is just a flat piece that I then, again, I had face areas drawn out on it, and then I applied where the eyes go, the cheekbones, and everything like that go on the face. The butterflies, again, are made out of heavy paper, not construction paper, but the type of paper that you would do watercolor or Strathmore paper, stuff like that. And I cut all of these butterflies out individually. It took a long time. cut them out and individually painted them. And then they are then propped upwards on strips of foam core board, or not foam core board, but craft foam. It's like a thick thing, some of the kids might use it. It's like a thick craft foam that I then cut and glued to the canvas with E6000, so that when you come up to it, the butterflies are actually fluttering, and they're giving a sense of motion. Regular kind of satiny or type of material here, and then I build a structure up underneath it with foam and other stuff to give her a bit of a body. I think sometimes I could have brought out her body a little bit more, but her arms are supposed to be out like this. So this piece is called Mariposa, and it was a piece that won a People's Choice Award. Let me see if I can lower it down just a little bit here. I'm going to be out of shot. My head's going to be cut off for a minute, but I'll try to raise it back up. So this piece was called Mariposa, and it won a a People's Choice Award. So I just stand to the side because you won't be able to see much of me. So again, you see my work is close to fantasy. There are most of the pieces I have a figure of women in it in a type of background. Oh, there's one more painting I have to show you. One more painting. That I also have to show you, called Blackbird Singing in the Dead of Night, which was inspired by John Lennon's song, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this piece is called Mariposa, and like I said, I already told you about what it won. Now let me see if I can get this cranked back up. I think it was about right there. See how this looks. Okay. Hold on one second, just bear with me. I like to put, that's why I said earlier in my other video that I've grown older, and because I have a lot more patience than I did as a young man, I can take a lot of time, like again, cutting out all these little individual pieces just to get the right effect. Best quality is my creep. Okay. And I'll do the same thing with this one. Here's another, this is the last one I'll be showing you this evening. Whoops. Let me see. Let me see what we have here. Okay, I'm going to lower it down a little bit more. So I don't think I can raise it up too much higher. There's not much room. And I'm probably going to be out of the shot, so you'll probably just hear my voice. This piece is called Blackbird Singing in the Dead of Night. It was inspired by a John Lennon song, which had to do with the civil rights movement. He was writing concerning the civil rights movement and the struggles that my race was going through during the 1960s when he wrote it. Blackbird Singing in the Dead of Night, take your broken wings and fly all your life. Some of the lyrics on it, you always have been waiting for this moment to fly, was about the struggle of the black people finally coming in during the dark hours, Father, and coming into the dark hours, and taking flight for their freedom, for their liberty, for their civil rights. And so I tried to show this woman as if she was if there was a kind of release for her, I have her in this flowing garment, and she's at a state of release or flowing free from the problems and the struggles, coming into that moment when there will be equality, and then she will be treated as an equal, and then she will no longer have to struggle. So again, it's kind of fantastic. It's kind of fantasy, kind of enchanted, but I wanted to show it in that meaning. So it has a civil rights meaning, a social statement to it, added to it, even though it's fantastical, fantasy-like. So this painting again was also, she's made out of foam core. In this structure here, a part of her body is foam core again, and then I applied the plaster gauze over the top of it. This arm here was actually foam that I cut out, and then went over the top of it. This is just painted on. The moon has, again, modeling paste for some of the craters and stuff like that. This is painted in oil. Her facial structures is foam core, which I then applied pieces of sculpture that were baked. All of these pieces, like when they were baked before I put them on. And I applied sculpture to those pieces, and when they dried, I glued them on and then painted over the top of it. So again, this piece is a civil rights piece representing freedom, liberty, finding that moment when, as a race, we can be liberated and free. And so that's what this piece meant in the dark of the night represents again as in the song. In the dark hours, it's a time for us to come into flight. So this again, this piece, this is the largest piece I have here. So this is just like some examples of my work. This gives you an idea of what I do as an artist and some of the things that I do and related. So this is my gallery showing, and this is I don't have much more to share with you as I do more work. I'll have these like little moments of gallery showings and stuff like that. But I appreciate you watching, and if you like this video, click on it. And I just thank you for this time, and I will see you the next time. This is I'm Artbound. My name is Brian Coleman. God bless.